Hey there, welcome to another 2-minute shop tips and tricks. Routers and router sub-bases or bases. There are lots of reasons to have a different base on your router. One of the reasons is that the hole in the factory router base isn't large enough for some of the bits you'd like to maybe use. So all sorts of reasons. Now, if you wanted to make another base, the obvious thing is to take off the factory base. If I can get it off here, screws are out of it, and trace it. And then drill a hole in the middle. And you can do all that, but it'll get off center. And that may be okay. I don't prefer that though. The way I make them is I pick a material that I want for the base. It could be 1/8 inch tempered masonite, which is really nice, or 1/4 inch tempered masonite. With tempered hardboard or tempered masonite, I call it masonite, it's hardboard. The tempered means it's slicker and harder on the surface. And that's what you're looking for. It could be, as I do on the square routers, it could be a piece of cutting board. UHMW sheet or HDPE panel, those are all good high density plastics. Cutting board works great if you see a sale or clearance on some and they're 1/4 or 3/8 thick. Those work great. What I do on a round base, the square one, you just trace your existing base and cut it out. You can put it on your router, as I did, and use a flush trimming bit on another router and trim that and get it perfect. And that's how I did this one. But on a round one, how would you do that? Well, if you do that, you can do the flush trimming bit method and go around it, and that gets it accurate, but it doesn't necessarily center the hole for you. So the way I do it is I take my base material, I drill a 1/4 inch hole in it, put a 1/4 inch dowel through it, then I have a sacrificial piece clamped to the bench top, put the dowel in a 1/4 inch hole in the sacrificial piece. Now you can take your router with its current base, its current factory base, that on there right. You can take your router, put a 1/4 inch bit in your router, and run that around the dowel. And you will cut circles just like these. Now, to get the hole at any size hole you want, take a hole saw and insert it in the 1/4 inch hole you had to make for the dowel, because the mandrel on a hole saw is a 1/4 inch, and drill your hole. And if you have access to various hole saws, most carpenters do, you can drill any size you would want. 1 inch, 2 inch, 1 3/4, whatever you think you need. You generally want the hole as small as is possible, but as large as is needed. So you may make 4 or 5 of these. When you're set up and doing it, it's easy to do, especially if you have the material. Let's say you buy a 2x4 handy panel at Home Depot for like $5. You could get, I don't know, 2 dozen router bases out of it. So it's just a tip for changing your base, and if you're into routers, you know what I mean. There's a reason to have other bases. Thanks for watching.